I'm going to talk about the I2SL University Alliance Group, and this is a working group that I pitched to I2SL back in 2014 and worked with I2SL and Phil Werdzik specifically on creating and growing back all the way back then. Next slide. And we're a fun and dynamic group, and every year at the annual conference, the in-person conference, we do a group picture. And so this is a picture from a couple of years ago, but it's always a big deal to be part of the picture. And certainly, though this is not everyone, of course, that's part of our group. Not everyone can make the in-person conference, but you can see a lot of faces, and we all go to many of us go to the conference and present on what we're working on. So it's a great place and time to learn about what's going on with the University Alliance Group and what efforts we're working on. Next slide. Next slide. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and so about the I2SL University Alliance Group, who are we? We're professionals from universities, government, nonprofit research campuses, who are really passionate about green labs or lab sustainability. It doesn't have to be all green lab efforts. And really the purpose of the group and the reason why, really I pitched the idea of creating this group long ago was to share about green lab and lab sustainability initiatives with other campuses and people, really from other nonprofit organizations that wanted to grow or start green labs programs on their campus. But also, really importantly, the purpose of the group is to have collective voice, to work together as a group to drive changes to systems that really will shift culture and shift action and improve environmental sustainability of scientific research. And so if you are part of one of these nonprofit campuses, if you university, government, or a nonprofit research campus, and you would like to join us, we encourage you to join us. And there's a QR code where you can use that you can use to do that. And we do monthly Zoom calls on the second Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And again, as Lindsay pointed out, you don't have to be an I2SL member to join this. So, if you're interested in joining, it'd be great to have you there. And also I wanted to say, while I initiated this group with I2SL, we do have a leadership committee that is steering the group at this point. Next slide. And so, yeah, our Zoom meetings that we have monthly, some of those will be social events, a couple of those a year. We'll also do some strategic planning and getting input on what the community wants to work on. But a lot of the times during our Zoom meetings, there is a topic that the community has been wanting to hear about. And so we'll have an invited speaker to talk about a particular topic. And so, for example, there's two here of talks that were given, one on ductless fume hoods at Butler University in their teaching labs, and then another one on composting of animal bedding at my campus at the University of Colorado Boulder. And then these resources are getting posted on the community of practice. So, most of the talks we're able to get a recording of and then post that, or we can post up slides and so forth. So, as Lindsay pointed out earlier, the community of practice is really a growing is growing in its resources that can be really useful to the community. Next slide. And then, like I said earlier, we also partner on bigger picture items to really use our collective voice to shift and promote change. And so, like, for example, these are some of the initiatives that we've either partnered on or that have come from the University Alliance Group. The Better Grants one is one that we worked many years on, because one of the focuses of the University Alliance Group is this need to connect expectations for efficiency and sustainability to the funding of science, because when the money says this is important, that is when we're going to get significant change and shift and fast change. And so, Better Grants has a lot of ideas about the way to be more efficient in your research. And then from that also came the Million Advocates for Sustainable Science, which is the partnership between My Green Lab and I2SL. But this is also stemming from the Better Grants effort. Lab Savers, Kathleen mentioned it earlier, is all about optimized use of space. I mean, since lab buildings are such large energy consumers and also very expensive to build, optimizing use of our lab space is actually a really important action that we can take. So that effort as well is one that our University Alliance Group has been contributing to. The I2SL International Fume Hood Challenge initially started within the University Alliance Group, and now obviously, as you saw in this webinar today, has become this bigger effort. And so that's really exciting, this bigger effort, I mean, within I2SL. And so we're so excited to see that start here, but then grow to be this big item. And then, also our group does a lot to collect resources and support each other on launching new Green Labs programs at institutions and growing Green Labs programs. And so having information and data that can be useful for individuals to go to their campus and advocate for Green Labs programs at their research institutions. So we're also collecting that data.